Hi there, good evening. Hey, I'm Jason, Trainee Counselor of Student Guidance Unit. And I would like to check because currently we should be live on our Facebook page. Let me check with my colleague whether we are actually live there through StreamYard because I don't see anyone in this room right now. All right. Yeah, my colleague just told me that it is currently live. Today is 1st of April. As I don't see anyone in the watching this right now, I'll wait for about 5 minutes. And whilst waiting, let's talk about 1st of April. Yeah, I see one of you in giving me a heart shape. Thank you so much. 1st of April, better known as April Fool's Day. It's been a while since I pulled any prank on anyone. Hi, Dr. Husni. Thanks for coming early. It's been a while since I pulled a prank on anyone. April Fools has not been very much that meaningful for me since I've grown into an adult. But I still remember in our school days or my school days, yeah, almost every time, almost every April Fool's Day, somebody would get tricked or somebody would get fooled. Hi, Vanida. Good to see you again. Yes. And I don't know whether any one of you got pranked today. Jin Yang, good to see you again. So, did any one of you, Dr. Husni, Wahida, Hadia, Jin Yang, did any one of you get pranked today? Because today is April Fool's Day. If you have, would you mind sharing in the comment section what happened? How was the prank done? And were you the victim? Whilst I wait for it, today is also the official endemic day for Malaysia. I was watching the news just now. Let's wait for another 2 more minutes before we dive into the real content. I was watching the news just now. Oh, not today. Dr. Husni didn't get pranked. Perhaps nobody dared to prank you, right, doctor? The news, I was watching a Chinese news just now, and there was a 10-minute report on the Singapore-Malaysia borders. Yeah, as at today, 12:01 a.m. So last night, whilst I was sound asleep, the borders opened, and then there was that long bridge, and it was reported like 6,000 or 7,000 people, Malaysians, mostly Malaysians, I believe, from Singapore, returning to Malaysia through Johor Bahru. Some of them were riding motorbikes. Yeah, they were celebrating. Some of them were in their cars, and some, there were quite a number, was even on their feet. They were walking. They were pulling their trolleys, carrying their backpacks, and they were walking either in the groups of 3 or 4, or some of them just solitary. But all of them seem to be looking forward to something. And when interviewed, some of them said, it has been 2 years and I miss home. Yeah, actually, I do not have the experience of not being able to see my family members for 2 years. And I always wonder, I was wondering just now, how does it feel actually not to be able to see your family members for 2 years, which is 700 plus days? I really can't imagine. But if I put myself in their shoes, it will probably be really sad. I would feel also lonely. I might be also feeling isolated because, like it or not, whether our relationship with our parents is A grade or B grade or just C grade, like it or not, whether A, B, or C, I believe that all of us yearn to be by the side of our mothers and fathers. So, to those of you who still have your mothers and fathers around, my dad already passed on a few years ago. My mom is still around, staying with me. And I was chatting with Dr. Husni the other day about my mom, 82 years old. For those of you who still have your parents around, even though some of you might be staying in campus right now because you are pursuing your studies, always make time to go back. Don't need to wait until the borders reopen or the announcement of endemic, just like those Malaysians stay in Singapore. Do not. I don't think you are staying in Singapore. So please make the effort, make the time, whether it's a short 1 night trip or maybe a 3 night trip. Make it a point to visit your dad and your mom. Because life has taught me one lesson. We can plan, but we really cannot plan because everything has been destined. Everything has been planned by the mighty one, by the bigger universe. So even though you think you might still have time to meet your mom, to have lunch with her, to spend time with your dad, going out for a teh tarik, you will never know. You will never know what will happen tomorrow. Therefore, do treasure the time. Then how to treasure it? You have to make the effort. You have to be proactive. As young adults and fully grown adults, we have to be proactive to make the effort. And this month is the month for Chinese to pay respects to their deceased family members. So very soon I'll be visiting my father, my late grandparents, and also my late elder brother. They are somewhere around in other states in Perak state. So this month is for the Chinese to pay our respects. Yeah, make time meeting parents before Ramadan too, Wahida. Yes. Sorry, I'm not very familiar with the culture of Ramadan, but yeah, I think you got a good point. Hi, Muhammad Alif Akmal. Hadia, welcome. Hadia said, I pranked a few friends on my chat group today. Change the server image that showed a notification, so they were looking for it. Okay. Hadia sounds like a scam to me. Hopefully you are not a scammer. All right, let me check the time. Time now is 9:08. Let's get into the main event. Today is about communication and communicating with confidence. I remember I was a very shy kid when I was growing up. And when I was in standard 3, my teacher said, Tong, you jaga kelas saya pergi jumpa guru besar. Kalau ada siapa buat bising, you tulis dalam buku nota you, tulis dia orang punya nama. Bila saya balik, you beritahu saya siapa buat bising. So, in a way, Puan Habibah, my teacher at standard 3, she was actually testing me. Do I have the caliber to be a class monitor when I was standard 3? So, she went to see the guru besar. Definitely there were guys, all boys, my school. Definitely there were boys who make noise, who were chit-chatting, right? As you can imagine. But I was very quiet. I was very scared. I sat still in my seat, not dare to even turn my head. And after about 20 minutes, Puan Habibah came back. Tong, siapa buat bising tadi? Boleh beritahu? Mari. So she asked me to go to her in front, and I brought my notebook. Actually, I didn't write a single word or a single letter on my notebook. I think, if I think back now, it's because I was very afraid. I was very afraid to step on any of my classmates' toes at standard 3. So when I was growing up, I was actually a very shy, timid, and low confidence boy. Very, very much. Standard 1, 2 until 6, and then Form 1 until Form 5, same. I was an unknown in my school. You wouldn't know me. You only know my surname, Tong, that's all. You actually don't know me. You have never heard my voice. I was pretty much invisible, except in my own class where I was known as a quiet, decent, obedient boy. That's all I was known. However, I slowly understand myself more when I went to university, and I slowly indulged or joined more extracurricular activities. And in university, even though my bachelor's degree was business administration, guess what's my favorite subject? I was doing a bachelor's in business administration. Maybe you're not very familiar for Uni 10 students about the business administration course, but just guess. Quickly, anyone, 1 or 2 person, make a guess. I have one favorite module. History, my Sarah said. Okay, I want to see 2 more guesses before I give you the answer. Thank you, my Sarah. I took one module called Tamadun Islam. Tamadun Islam 1 and Tamadun Islam 2. Anyone? Jin Yang psychology. Ooh, psychology, is psychology or psychology? If that time Dr. Husni was my psychology lecturer, maybe it would have been my favorite. Last guess, one more person. Come on. Wahida, what's your guess? Was there psychology class your time? You know me well. You know how old I am. Thanks. There wasn't. So Jin Yang is out already. There wasn't psychology class at my time. So I let you, maybe I throw a few out. There was Tamadun Islam, as I said. There was finance. There was accounting. There was economics. There was marketing. There was management. There was public speaking. There was finance. 2 papers of finance. Yeah, all these are the business related papers. Come on, one last guess before I reveal the answer and go into today's main event. Come on. Wahida, come make a guess. Oh, I love marketing class. Yes, marketing was my second favorite. All right, since nobody dare to guess, my second favorite is marketing. Yes, my second favorite. My favorite, and only one module, was a module called public speaking. I didn't get an A for it. However, I got a B plus. Only 2% got A in our class. It was an elective module, but I took it. I believe it was elective if I remember correctly, but I took it. And I enjoyed it wholeheartedly. There were only 2 students who got A in the public speaking class. They were 2 university debaters. I wasn't. And I was one of those, a few others who got a B plus. From there on, I started to learn. I started to not only have interest, but I started to read up. And later on, when YouTube came along, I started to watch videos. And then I started to find places where I can practice public speaking. So I found Toastmasters clubs. I joined a Toastmaster club 2 years ago near my area in PJ. And since then I was hooked to it. And I really get the oomph. Even though now it's online, I don't really hear the applause, even though it would be great if you can, but I don't think it's possible. Hence, public speaking was something I learned over the last 20 years. Still learning, still not perfect, but I'm definitely much more confident compared to when I was in standard 3. So communicating is actually something very important. Some of you would have gone to several internship interviews, like Jin Yang, I know him. He's my student or client. Some of you would need to go to internship. Before you get an internship placement, you need to convince the manager or the supervisor that you are capable, that you are the right candidate. Not only that you are a 4-pointer. 4-pointer doesn't get you the internship or the job. A 4-pointer grade maybe get you a dean's list, maybe some other awards, maybe scholarship, but not necessarily a job. A job is something that pays you money after you graduate. That's why I got more and more info, and I finally, during one of the PEEP workshop, conducted this similar content, communicating with confidence. So some of you might have attended that, but never mind. Every time I deliver it, it will be something new. Let's get going. So effective communication is key to not only career, but also to your studies. Do you know that sometimes everybody present the same kind of thing in an assignment, but your presentation seems to be clearer, you seem to be more confident, and the audience, your lecturer and the audience seem to remember your message better. Will you get the extra 1 point or 2 marks? Definitely. Yes, thanks for the question, Mai. Hadia, if you're watching, help me just keep track on the questions. Hopefully there will be a 10-minute Q&A. I will go faster from now on. Otherwise, there's no time for Q&A. I love Q&A because Q&A really is the real challenge that you guys are facing. All right, so I'll cover a few big topics. Number one, what makes a good speaker? Of course, when I'm looking this way, you can guess I'm looking at my notes. Why I need to look at my notes? So that I can remember all the key things that I want to share with you. Otherwise, my mind might go somewhere else, maybe to the Ramadan Bazaar that I've been thinking about, but I know it's not started yet. What makes a good speaker? Now, let me tell you what doesn't make a good speaker. Queen's English, perfect English, nice voice like a DJ's voice, wearing coat like this or super good looking like me. No, all these things doesn't make you a confident communicator. All these things just make you look good. That's all. Just like packaging. You look good, you have style, but you have no substance. I used to work for the cigarette brand called Dunhill. I was a brand manager there. Style and substance. That's what the brand Dunhill exudes. We have both the style and substance. If you dress well, you have a nice watch, you have a nice car, you have style, but you might not have substance. Therefore, what makes a good communicator? Two things. Remember this. You or the person who is a confident communicator is someone who seems to know what he or she is talking about and seems to sound like he also knows what she is talking about. So firstly, he look like he knows what he's talking about. Secondly, he also sound like he knows what he's talking about. Just this. You can wear a t-shirt, round neck t-shirt, it doesn't matter. Today I just decide to be a bit more stylish, that's all, but it doesn't make me any more confident. I look good, but nothing else. So confident communicator is not someone who is super fluent. Don't worry about your English. I have some people who came and say, I'm joining Toastmasters Club to improve my English. Actually not. Toastmasters doesn't help you improve English. It helps, but it doesn't teach you English. It's how you speak in a simple language, English, that people can pick and understand and remember. That makes you a confident communicator. Now, what holds people back? Some people, I'm reading my notes here, it says some people, when they are at a casual conversation, before they go up to present, wow, they are very chatty. They can talk about anything in the world. It's like very confident below the stage or below the limelight. Once they are put under the limelight, they seem to be shaking, nervous. The words doesn't seem to gel with the thinking and so on. So they get jumbled up. In some research that people check after doing presentation, so they interview the people who just finished presentation. Just now, did you feel that you were throwing words at the audience or you were speaking to the audience? Were you throwing words or speaking? 80% of the time, the respondents say, I felt like I was just throwing words at the audience. I would just want to finish as fast as I can. And this turned them into a one-way communicator, one-way traffic. The traffic only goes one way. Boom, 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 boom. If I talk very fast, then I become a one-way communicator. But today, the only way that you can communicate is through the comments. So keep the comments coming and keep the questions coming. As and when the question comes, type in the comment section so that you don't forget. I have my notes, I won't forget mine. So I hope you don't forget your question. Type it in the comment section once you have it. There are a few things that make people feel nervous each time they need to speak to a group. Virtually is also nerve-wracking. There are a few reasons. One, they feel vulnerable. They are thinking in their mind, what if I say something wrong? What if they don't agree with me? What if I look stupid? What if I can't remember the numbers? What if I blah, 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 blah? What if I said the wrong facts? All these things makes them feel vulnerable. Second, some of us set very high expectation for ourselves. Wow, we want to appear to have a perfect memory of our story, but we only practice once. No, you won't remember it. You remember some, but not all. unless you practice 30 times. Then lack of preparation. That's one of the reasons why people feel so scared before they go up. If I don't prepare well for today, that means I don't have my notes. I just wing it. I think I will be confusing more than convincing. Bad experience in the past. This is probably affecting some of you. Why currently you are still very afraid to do a presentation? Maybe one of the days previously you were laughed at, or somebody commented that you didn't do well. So those could be all the reasons why we are nervous for doing presentations or speaking to a group. There's a technical term called racing brain syndrome, RBS. What does it mean? It means what we are saying and what we are thinking is not in sync. Most likely, our thoughts are faster compared to our words. So we have many thoughts, but we already went very far ahead. But what we are saying is trying to catch up with their thoughts. This is called the racing brain syndrome. The brain raced faster than the tongue. What do we do? How do we stop it? How do we make it? How do we don't let it happen? It might happen. So when it happens, I tell you what you can do. Pause. Prepare water, pause, drink water. Nothing is wrong so far. I paused for a few seconds. I drank water for a few more seconds, total 7 seconds. I didn't say a word. Nothing is wrong. So it slows down my brain. It gives me time, gives my tongue the time to catch up with my brain. So now I know they are in sync. The other technique is slow down. Deliver one thought at one time. Isn't this space nicer than just now? Yeah, sometimes when we are nervous, we don't even know what we are talking about ourselves. So remember racing brain syndrome. The brain travels faster than the tongue. How to stop it or prevent it? Pause. Breathe in or drink water. But the key is stop. Pause. Take a breather. Connecting with yourself. Yes. Going back to one of the research I shared just now, 80% of the presenters or public speakers says, I was just throwing words at the audience. I just wanted to finish as fast as I can and sit down so that I don't embarrass myself. This is known as the endless loop trap. Ding, 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 ding. We are going round and round and round and round and round and round and round, chasing after our brain. And how? What can we do about it? So in my notes, I want to share this. This is very powerful. I've tried it before and it works for me. This is how you do it, how you manage it. Before you go up to the stage, let's say you need to do a presentation on behalf of your group, your turn. Let's say you are the first presenter. Before your turn, think of how you want to be seen and perceived by the audience. Think of one word to describe how you want to be seen and perceived by your audience. I tried it for myself before I went live just now. The one word that I want to be seen and perceived by you, my audience, is confident. I chose the word confident. Now, not necessarily you need to always choose the same word, confident, even though today is about confidence. No. Last time when I did this at a PIP workshop, I chose another word. I wanted to be seen and perceived by the audience as interactive. Some of you, like Jin Young, who was there, will remember this. I designed it that way. So before your turn to speak or before your turn to go into the interview room, if you are interviewing for internship, sit down, think of one word to describe how you want to be seen and perceived by the audience. If it's an interview, the audience would be the interviewing manager. It could be one person, it could be 3 persons. Doesn't matter. In speaking to a group, it could be 3%, it could be 30%. Also doesn't matter. The concept and the technique is still the same. All right. Yeah, just now I spoke about the racing brain syndrome. Just now is to prepare yourself with one word as to how you want to be seen and perceived by the audience. Now, to manage the racing brain syndrome, something I already mentioned just now. Ooh, my Sarah, thanks for the long comment. Yeah, we can talk about it later. To slow down your racing brain is actually using this formula. Deliver one thought at a time. Let's say I have 3 thoughts. I'm sweating right now. Let's say I have 3 thoughts when I want to, let's say the question in the interview is like this $1,000,000 question. Okay, please tell us more about yourself, right? Everybody start the interview like that. Jason, please tell us more about yourself. So let's say I prepare ahead. I want to just share 3 things about myself. Where am I from? My hometown. What am I doing now? My occupation. And what's my favorite pastime? So kampong, occupation, pastime. 3 things only, 3 points. So this is how you deliver 1 point at a time. The question thrown to you. Jason, please tell us more about yourself. As you know, my name is Jason. That's not important. I would like to share that I come from a town called Ipoh, which is known for its very delicious food. At this point of time, I'm working as a trainee counselor in a university called University Tenaga Nasional. And lastly, I love to play football. Even though now I'm not that young, but I still make it a point to play with some young men at the park near my house. So I've delivered 3 points, but 1 at a time. I'm very, very sure if you were paying attention just now, you could remember my 3 points. Where did I come from? What is my occupation? And what's my hobby or pastime? But if we deliver 3 points at one, or 3 thoughts at one time, it will sound like this. Jason, please tell us more about yourself. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you for having me today. I'm very delighted to be here. I want to tell you that I was born in Ipoh many years ago, and Ipoh is a town that's known for its very delicious food. Secondly, I am now working as a trainee counselor in University Tenaga Nasional, which is located in Kajang. And also, I love to play football. Even though now I'm a bit old, I still make it a point to play with the young man who is about half my age at the park near my house. Thank you very much for asking this question and giving me a chance to attend this interview. So still, I wanted to share 3 key points. But because I kind of didn't pause, I kind of very nervous, and I wanted to finish answering this question as soon as I can, it would have sounded to you like I was rushing to catch the train or wanting to cross the border to Singapore before 10 p.m. And I'm sure if I didn't give you the first version before that, you wouldn't remember much of what I just tell you about myself. So to slow down the racing brain syndrome is using the formula, deliver 1 thought at a time. In between, full stop. Full stop. Full stop. Next topic will be on breathing, but I'm already sweating again. I wonder why. I'm nervous, definitely. Breathing properly. Do you know that when we are nervous, we actually do not breathe properly? Not only our heart is beating faster, but actually our breathing is also shallow. Maybe not as bad as this. This look like heart attack, but yeah, it's definitely more rapid. You know what I mean. I'm sure you know what I mean. You have been there. We all have been there. So when we are not confident, our breathing is also abnormally fast. So let me share with you one breathing technique called the Ujjayi breathing method. Those who have meditated before would know how to do this. Basically, it's a diaphragmatic form of breathing. And one of my colleagues, Mai, is also very good at doing breathing. So I'll give you a simple version. Basically, diaphragmatic means you breathe using this part. This is the ribs and below the ribs. So you should have seen when I inhale, you will have seen my diaphragm expand. So I inhale, exhale. If I put a book in front, it will look something like this, more prominent. Look very fat, right? That's good breathing. Ujjayi breathing method. Instead of breathing using our chest, most people use the chest. Practice to breathe using your diaphragm. Diaphragm has a bigger space, so it can collect more oxygen, so that you can use more oxygen. When you are breathing using the chest and rapidly, there's very little oxygen, and you will notice that sometimes you run out of breath, either in speaking, presentation, or even singing. Sometimes you forget to inhale and not enough. You will run out of breath before you finish that sentence. Experience before? Try the better way of breathing, Ujjayi breathing method using the diaphragm. And this is not something very common for me, especially. I realize that if sometimes when I'm nervous, I'm definitely not breathing using the diaphragm. I'm breathing using the chest. Therefore, you need to practice, not during the presentation. You don't practice during the presentation. You practice when you're not presenting, when you're not stressed. Now, the next chapter is about honing your message. Preparation is essential. Preparation is essential. When you want to deliver a good message that people will remember and take action, you have to prepare. I prepared many hours so that I have a set of notes in my laptop. I'm referring to them right now. Otherwise, how can I remember so many things? But if I prepare and practice for 10 more times, perhaps I might not need to look at my notes again. But I did not. Therefore, my preparation for this talk is average, not very bad. I have a set of notes, but not very good because I didn't practice more than 10 times. So preparation is definitely the key. It can help you reduce your anxiety because you know what to expect. You know what you need to say. You know what you need to say and what you don't need to say. And sometimes when we don't plan ahead, when we don't prepare, we can actually say things that we actually shouldn't say or do not need to say. And also three more tips. One, identify your desired outcome. Desired outcome. What do you want this presentation to achieve? If it's an interview for internship, what's your desired outcome? I want to secure an internship with this company, ABC. So that's your desired outcome. Get it clear in your head. Second, use simple words. Hi, thank you for having me today. I was born in a town called Ipoh, 2 hours drive from KL, which is known for its delicious food. Use simple words. You don't need to use fantastically bombastic words because somebody might not even understand you. The third tip is short sentences. Second tip, simple words. Third tip, short sentences. I see whether I have this. Yes. Listen to this. The next important element to creating messages is to use short sentences. And I must tell you, for many people, that's not easy because we often use conjunctions to link our thoughts, which by itself elongates the sentence. And those conjunctives include and, but, which, rather, however, because, whereas, in respect of, and at the end of the sentence becomes elusive. And racing brain syndrome is responsible for some of it. And at the end of the sentence, listeners come away with a muddled message because really, what I've just done just now is mind dumped for one very long sentences. There were 100 words in that sentence. And I'm sure you are more confused than me. Short sentences, simple words, and before you start, identify your desired outcome. Almost like setting a goal before you start, before you go into the interview room. Organizing your thoughts. Okay, the tip here is index cards. Index cards, whether I can demonstrate right now. This is an A4 paper. How do you make index cards? You simply divide the A4 paper into four sections. This is for those who need to do a presentation and don't want to keep looking at the slides or the notes, right? You can actually use index cards to remind you. So I'm now tearing an A4 paper into 4 sections while checking my time, 9:37. Okay, I won't spend a lot of time here because it will take a lot of time to really go into detail. So basically, this is the size of one index card. Good enough to hold in your hand. I'm holding a few. I'm holding a few in my hand right now. Some of the master of ceremonies of really big event like Academy Awards, they also use index cards. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. Write key points, short words, simple words. Don't write the whole paragraph. Otherwise, you'll be reading the whole index card. You become a notebook. No, it's a card. Just key points only. So one key point per index card. Then you can move and then present the other key point, and then you can move on. Nothing to be ashamed of. Professionals use them as well. That is to help you to organize your thoughts. Make every word count. How to make every word count? Do you realize that words are actually very powerful? If you can recall a time where you were labeled a certain word, like you are a loser, or you are failure, or epic fail. Those are words that means a lot and hurt you a lot. You are fat, you are ugly, you're never gonna make it. All these are words. Words are powerful when used correctly. Words are actually very hurting when used the other way around. Therefore, when you want to make your word count, you enunciate, you highlight, you exaggerate the word that you want to highlight. Give you a demonstration. You can emphasize any word. 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 Same sentence, emphasizing different words. It will sound pretty dramatically different. The other thing that you need to take note of and learn is called vocal variety. In vocal variety, there are 4 components: pace, pitch, power, and pause, so that you sound better. Pace. Sometimes you speak very fast because you're very urgent and you want to create some excitement, but sometimes you just slow down because it's very important. So play with your pace. The second P is pitch. Pitch is like singing song. Some people use this. Hi, I am Jason Tong. Nice to meet you. So if you notice, my last word is always at a higher pitch. Hi, I'm Jason Tong. Nice to meet you. It sounds very cheerful, but it might not sound confident. Compared to this. Hi, I'm Jason Tong. Nice to meet you. The last word, I use a lower pitch. It will make you sound more confident compared to a higher pitch. Higher pitch sounds friendly, sociable, kind of happier, but it doesn't add on confidence. The third P in vocal variety is power. You can go very soft when you want to deliver something very important. Or you can go very loud when you want to deliver something very important? Both also have their different kind of effect, but both also works when you want to capture attention. And lastly is my favorite, P-A-U-S-E, pause. By pausing, I got your attention. If I want to deliver something very important right after this, listen to this. A, B, C. I use the pause. You can do it as well. Before something very important, it's almost like watching a movie before the BAM! The climax. There was a moment of pause. Pause creates curiosity. It generates anticipation in the audience mind. But I realize that pause is the thing that many people do not use. So if you want to try something over the next few days, if you have a presentation or you want to produce a video for your assignment or you are going for an interview, I encourage you to use a lot of pauses. When you pause, show a beautiful face, smile a little bit, but don't smile like this. Otherwise, they think you're crazy. So emphasize your words and use vocal variety. You will sound better. Sounding confident. Yeah, there was one research I forgot to share. One research from the USA. It is found that 50+% of the people who think someone is confident in communication, 50+% is based on how they look. 38% is based on how they sound. And only 7% is based on what they said. Therefore, you don't need glamorous words. You need simple words. But you use vocal variety. And you also later, I will teach you how to use hand gestures to accentuate your point. So some bad habits when it comes to sound, how we sound, is just now I mentioned something called uptalk. You end the sentence with the last word at a higher pitch. It makes you friendly but not confident. Second is using words that is known as hedging. If you don't mind me asking, can I ask a question? Just ask. My question, I have one question, and it is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Or people will say, kind of, how are you doing today? Kind of, all right. How are you doing today? I'm good. Definitely the second version sounds more confident. Or some people will be too polite, like I demonstrated just now. Would you mind if I asked you one question? Yeah, it's Q&A time. Ask me 3 questions. So you want to be more confident? Don't say, would you mind? We don't need to actually. Just go direct. I have one question. Can I ask it now? A, B, C, D, E. Should. And yeah, there is one piece of special advice. If you notice, I am standing up. I'm not sitting down. It helps me release some nervous energy to the ground. Of course, I have one advantage because my desk is available for standing height. It's a sit-stand desk. So it allows me to accentuate or elevate my laptop and my camera to a standing height. But nevertheless, if you don't have this type of desk, you can still make it happen. Use a stack of your textbooks to elevate your laptop, or use some shoe boxes to elevate your laptop. It can be done. No worries. You don't need to spend money like me. And power of the pause, yes, I've mentioned to you before. Do you know why pauses are important? Pauses are important because it makes 2 things happen. First, from the inside out. From the outside in first, sorry. From the outside in, it lets your audience think. Sometimes you say something very complicated or very, very, very interesting. They need time to think. The other reason is from inside out. As a communicator, it slows you down. It prevents you from going into a racing brain syndrome. It allows you to deliver one thought at a time. It makes you look and sound more confident. So pause is the power. There are some people who has the habit of speaking very fast. And it happens that way, your audience won't have enough time to think. You realize today I did not use a single piece of slide. So I have to do a good job or decent enough job for you to follow most of the things that I shared. You might not remember everything, but I hope you can remember some things that you think you want to try. By slowing down, you'll be able to control every single word and emphasize, especially when saying somebody's name. MJ Maisara Muhammad, Muhammad Alif Akmal, JY Chong, Akmal. You accentuate, pronounce the K, and it will sound much, much, much better. So slow down, pause, it make you look and sound better. Look like how you mean it. We are coming to using eyes already. Your eyes show how you feel, definitely. So the tip here is you want to. It's very difficult to demonstrate here because it's virtual, but in a live setting, you want to deliver one thought to Maisara. Imagine I'm looking at Maisara. After finishing that thought, then only you move on to Alif. After finishing that thought, then you move on to JY Chong, Jin Yang. Then you can come back to Maisara. You don't deliver one quarter of the thought and move to Chong and come back to mine. Chong as if he was listening to your point, as if you were talking to him, but suddenly you were talking to another person. So this is actually very bad eye contact. But in a virtual setting, it's very challenging. Actually, I don't even see a human being's face right now. I'm always trying my best to either look at my notes and also get back to my camera. But sometimes I'm distracted by myself because in front of me here is myself moving up and down as I move my hand. So practice eye contact in everyday conversation. This is something I need to practice as well as a human being, as a person, because I realize that my daily conversation in real life, my eye contact is still pretty weak. Therefore, practice, not during the presentation, practice on a daily basis whilst we are having lunch with your friends. Talking with your hands. Some people will ask, should I move my hands? Should I move my hands? Let me demonstrate this. Most important than talking is listening, but as we do so, are we skilled listeners? Active listening makes a difference. More important than talking is listening. But as I said, so are we good listeners? Active listening is more important than talking. Which version you prefer? Definitely the version that I use my hand. So use your hand, but with a purpose. I have a friend at Form 5 that's always using this gesture. I call him Professor Wong because he seems like talking like a professor, whatever the topic. No, not very nice, not very effective. If you want to make a contrast, there is a difference between product A and product B. You use your hand to contrast it. And we have grown from here, and now we are at this level. So you use your hands to show the meaning of the point, not simply using your hands. The other thing about using hands is it helps us think. You might not realize, actually, if you stand like this, it's kind of difficult. But when you move your hands and you say, I only have 5 more minutes. Yeah, now I remember I only have 5 more minutes. So it helps us think. I gotta move faster. Some things I gotta skip and I choose the best for the last 5 minutes before we go into a Q&A. Facial expression. How about facial expression? It needs to match the words. Good morning. No, sorry. Good evening. Welcome to the Lighthouse Show once again. I'm so happy to see all of you on 1st of April. Do I sound happy and excited to see you? Good evening, everyone. So happy to see all of you today. Even though it's 1st of April, I'm glad you are here. So use your facial expression to match your story, to match your message. How to practice? Few ways. One, you can use your phone to record yourself and then watch it. Second, you can use software like Zoom and Google to pre-record or some other software. Third, you can practice in the mirror. I remember many years ago when I was in uni, I loved the subject called public speaking. I practiced in front of a mirror. We didn't have smartphone at the time. But I think the video using video function on a smartphone is the best. It's the best, better than the mirror. In handling nervousness, how do we handle nervousness? One of the things is pretend that you are confident. Instead of worrying about what to say and how will people judge you and how tall and how short you look and how fat or how thin you might look on the stage or in front of an audience, just pretend that the audience love you. So now I'm pretending that you love me. Wow. Good evening, everyone. Professor, Doctor, and Dato and Datin. I'm so happy to see you here because I feel very excited to share today's message. It's a very important message. After I spoke for 30 seconds, pretending I am confident or I was confident, actually my brain started to receive sensation from my body or signals that actually I feel confident. We can trick our brain. Now, sometimes our brain tricks us, but we can trick our brains by acting as if we are the best presenter in the whole world and getting paid 1,000 ringgit per hour to just talk about this. Yep, that will work. Second thing is actually to use your body. I recently learned one technique. If you are very nervous, you use your hand and just shake them. And then you can walk around like gorilla. Don't laugh, huh? I know you're laughing, but it works because you use your body, release all the tension in your body, and suddenly, ooh, you can dance. And when you can dance, you actually loosen up and not nervous anymore. All right, I gotta go into the last item. Yeah, I already said this, make fake confidence real, pretend. And yeah, I have covered most of the important points. So to sum this up, anytime you speak is it's an opportunity for you to practice, not necessarily wait until interview or presentation or public speaking class. No. Every day is an opportunity. One-to-one is the best. But if you can do it in a group, let's say you go for eating with your friends, outing, practice a little bit here and there. And then there are breathing. Breathing is important, diaphragmatic. Deliver one thought at a time. Vocal variety, using pause to capture attention. Make eye contact. Practice it during lunch every day. And my favorite, make peace with the pause. Right, let me get to the questions. So let me get the banner out, Q&A. I didn't even put the first banner. Okay, Q&A time. Dun, dun, dun. Let me see. Those who have questions, quickly type now. Is take it or leave it. My Sarah Muhammad. Let me show this question. This is a question. You said you love the public speaking class. What's the beauty of public speaking in your point of view? Okay, I think you're referring to my module during uni, right? My Sarah. Okay. What's the beauty of public speaking in my point of view? Wow. The beauty of public speaking in my point of view is I have the chance to make a difference. If I'm given a chance to speak to you today, it's also a public speaking. I have a chance to make a difference in your life. That's why I find public speaking beautiful. It's God-given opportunity. Thanks for the question. I hope I've answered you soundly. Dun, 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 dun. Then we have Alif. How do I deal with impromptu speaking? I don't have any preparation or notes. Yeah, definitely. If you say impromptu speaking, there will be no chance for you to make notes. How do you deal with it? Of course, the simple answer is P. Practice, practice, practice. I'm not selling a Toastmasters club, but definitely there's a Toastmasters club around you that always give you a chance to practice impromptu. But let's say you don't want to join any Toastmasters club. If you really want to become a confident speaker, even impromptuly, I encourage you to form a mini group amongst your friends. Only friends who are keen to improve, not everybody will join this group. And then maybe set every Friday night that you guys hang out. Maybe a mamak, maybe just a store will do. Just a place that people can hang out. Maybe just a campus if you guys are in campus. And then you become the master. You become the impromptu speaking master. Not to say you need to teach, but you prepare topics. So maybe tonight the topics is about tricks and pranks. So you prepare 5 topics. Let's say you have 4 other friends, 5 of you all together. So each person will be given a chance to speak on the topic randomly picked by you as the master. And they can speak for 1 to 2 minutes. So there will be another person who also need to check the time, 1 to 2 minutes. This is an informal, impromptu speaking practice. The topics can be anything. What would you do if you strike the lottery? Yeah, it's not relating to tricks, but it can be anything random. Or you want to pick something that relating to Ramadan. 5 topics related to the month of Ramadan. What do you miss the most during Ramadan month? So amongst your friends, randomly they pick a number from 1 to 5, but they don't get to see the topics. You become the impromptu speaking master and you say, okay, let's say your friend is Chong. Chong, your topic for number 3 is, what do you miss most during the lockdown? Chong, what do you miss most during the lockdown? You have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. Nothing beats practice. And this is a structured practice. Apart from that, one other tip is you don't want to do any of those things that I said. Speak up when you are in a group. When you hang out with your friends, speak up. Somebody would say something relating to one topic. So you say, I have an opinion. Or you say, what I think is, you got to speak up. Nothing will really improve if we don't practice. So the key is practice, whether in a structured way or non-structured way. Non-structured way, speak up when you have the time. Okay, Alif. Chong has a question. What do I do if I was the speaker in an event but attendees is very few? Ooh. Chong, if you are still there, what do you mean by very few? Can you type in the comment section? What do you mean by very few? How many? Chong Jin Young. 1 or 2. 1 or 2 means they are your friends, right? I reckon. What do I do if I was the speaker in an event? I reckon it's an organized event, but the turnout is very weak. Only 1 to 2 people want to come and listen to you speak. I remember one story. If you heard about a comedian named Douglas Lim, Malaysia's #1 comedian, Douglas Lim. He has been in comedy for more than 20 years as a professional comedian. I read one post shared by another comedian called Dr. Jason Leong, an up-and-coming comedian. So Jason Leong wrote in one of the posts, there was one photo of a stage, and in front there is Douglas Lim doing his comedy. Then they show the audience. In the audience, there were only 3 people. Douglas Lim was a professional at the time. That means he is paid to do comedy. But he said he said nobody turned up. Then why were there 3 people in the audience? Douglas called the Jaga Pintu punya abang, and I think one more other staff lah. They are staff, not paid audience. Abang. Okay, tak ada orang datang. So boleh you duduk kah? You mana-mana pun boleh lah sebab banyak tempat kosong lah. So one abang sat here, one abang sat there lah. And in the middle of, and he started his whole routine. Comedians actually, they don't do impromptu comedy. They have scripted comedy. They practice 100, 200 times before they go on stage. They are not that good. They just practice a lot. So 2 abangs were watching Douglas perform, and he performed the whole thing. Because Jason Leong was behind the stage, he took the photo. Douglas was his mentor, his sifu. So he took the photo. He saw everything. Douglas didn't even bother. Douglas Lim didn't even change his script. Douglas Lim didn't even cut short his routine, his comedy routine. And halfway through, there was one person opening a door, a middle-aged looking uncle, Chinese. He came in. Then he said, actually, what is this? He asked Douglas Lim on the stage. Douglas Lim said, uncle, this is my show. Thank you for coming. Please have a seat. And he continued. The whole show finished. Don't know, maybe 45 minutes, maybe 1 hour. I didn't know the details. But that was shared by Dr. Jason Leong, another comedian. He said, I totally respect my sifu, Douglas Lim. That is the reason why Douglas Lim is number 1 and still the number 1 stand-up comedian in the country. It's because of his professionalism to his job. So Jin Yang, whatever the event is, if you are the main speaker or you are the trainer or you are the presenter, it's your job. Remember the story of Douglas Lim. Maybe number 3 will come in and say, what is that? And you say, thank you for coming to my event. Hope it gives you a perspective. Yep. Any other questions? Or did I miss any? I want to read a comment or show a comment from Hadia. Even if you do make a mistake, just move on to the next point rather than stuttering to go back to the mistaken point. Don't worry. No one but you would notice unless you point it out. Yes! What a great feedback. What a great comment. I remember once I joined a Mandarin Toastmasters Club. When I was young, I didn't study Mandarin. I went to the Kebangsaan school. Very minimal ability to speak in Mandarin. But I pushed myself to join a Mandarin speaking Toastmasters Club. Why? I feel like I want to, one day, hopefully, I can deliver a talk in Mandarin, but not yet, until I practice more. However, I got one feedback that I remember until today. So everyone need to go up to introduce ourselves for about 4 minutes in Mandarin for me, the whole thing in Mandarin. It was very scary. And so I went up. And the first thing I said was, 对不起. No, actually, that was the second thing I said. The first thing I said was, 大家晚上好. That means, good evening, everybody. The second thing I said was, 对不起. 其实我的华语讲得马马虎虎. Sorry, actually, my Mandarin is just 6:30. That was the second statement I made. After the whole 4 minutes, the senior member gave feedback. He said, Jason, well done. You had humor and you were funny and people were laughing all the way. However, if you want to become a good public speaker in Mandarin later on, do not apologize. Do not apologize whether you are good or bad, whether you are 6:30 or 6:30. Just go and share your message. So never, never. Like what Noor Hadia said, never, never need. Never, never also. Actually, don't need. You screw up the word or you say the wrong name or pronounce the wrong way, so be it. Because, yeah, I want to end with this last tip. It just jive with what Hadia is talking about. Don't ever, ever apologize. I will not apologize for crossing the 10 o'clock mark. Why? Because we are all human beings and we will make mistakes. If you can find blooper scenes of Barack Obama, one of the former president of the United States, known as one of the best, more articulate US president ever. But you can still find his bloopers on YouTube. He also made a lot of mistakes. But yet he's still one of the best president in terms of ability to speak. And this is the most important lesson for today, which I want to end with. That is before you go to your next interview, talk, event as a speaker or presentation, all those things are important. Always, before you step up, tell yourself this: I am a human being. I am not important. I'm not important. Then what is important? Two things only. My audience, Alif, Wahida, Hadia, Chong, Dr. Husni, Maisara, and some others. My audience is important. What else is important, guys? My message. My message is important. If you go and speak without a message, without a purpose, better don't do it because it's wasting other people's time. Even if you present for an assignment, there should be a message. It's not just presenting numbers and words. I'm not important as a presenter or speaker or interviewee. My audience is important and my message is important. Do that every single time, guarantee that you will appear to become somebody who knows what you are talking about, who looks like you know what you are talking about, and who will sound like you know what you are talking about as well. That is the summation of a confident communicator. Thank you so much for all the feedback and the comments. Yep, all very, very interactive, and all the questions. I think that's about all from me and also for tonight's show. Yep. Simple words, short sentences. Same here. There will be, there already is. Noor Hadia, my colleague, he has already posted a link for you to get your score run credit. What time will it close? 11 p.m. Oh, it's very kind of her. She's working overtime because of all of you. So check out the comment section, click the link and get your scoring credit. Meanwhile, thank you so much for coming. I enjoyed the last 1 hour plus with you. And it's not a prank, although it's April the 1st. Communicating with confidence, you can practice every single day. Remember the few key things: breathing correctly, eye contact, using pauses. And also, before you go up, think of yourself as not important. Your audience is important and your message is important. With that, I would like to once again promote Student Guidance Unit. Student Guidance Unit is made up of a team of counselors and trainee counselors like myself. We are all here to support you. We are here to listen to you if you are feeling stressed, feeling anxious, feeling low in confidence, feeling lost, feeling tidak ada haluan, loss of direction. Any issue is welcome. We are not tutors. We are not lecturers, although some of our counselors are also lecturers. We are doing our job as your buddy, your listener, who will listen to you without making fun of you, who will listen to you without judging you, who will listen to you without nagging you on what you should do. We believe that you have the inner wisdom to do it. However, sometimes you might be stuck or feeling stuck when you are feeling all jumbled up inside your mind, too many thoughts. So if you feel that you want someone to listen to us, visit our Facebook page. The contact information for the right people are all there. Either send us a WhatsApp message or even can call us or send us an email. Without any more delay, I would like to say thank you to all of you and wish you a happy weekend and happy April ahead. Stay tuned for more updates on our Facebook page for next Friday's Lighthouse show. Thank you, and Jason, trainee counselor of SGU, signing off. Goodbye.